welcome to the studio tonight. So today I'm going to paint a little hummingbird. Here it is flying in the sky. I've just done a quick sketch of it, but I'm not just going to paint it the normal way. I'm going to use something I just got. It is called Brusho. Here it is, and this is powdered watercolor paint. Comes in these little tiny little tiny canisters. I've just poked a tiny little thumbtack through the top of them. Believe it or not, that little hole is enough for the paint to shake out through. And so I thought what I'm going to do is just wet my paper and shake that right on there and see how it goes. So this is Brusho test number 1. I am going to start by painting the eye. I want to make sure I get that. I'm not sure how the rest of this is going to go, but I want to make sure I've got this bird's eye on there the way I want it before I get any paint on it. Hopefully if I get any paint on it after this, it will always show through. So here we go. Just let me finish up the eye, but let me get this bird nice and wet here before we do too much. All right. Good. I think the eye's pretty nice just like that. There we go. And now I've just got to cover this whole thing with a little bit of water. I'll use a nice big fat brush for this. This is Princeton Neptune. I believe this is a 6, maybe an 8. Well, you can see a tiny bit of color there from when I just pulled the push pin out of the Brusho canister. A little bit of this seems to go quite a long way, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. What I want to do is get this bird wet enough so that if I shake this color onto it, it will run all over this bird's body. That's one of the 2 ways you can really use this Brusho, is you pre-wet whatever you want to put the color onto, and then shake the color onto it, and it comes off and flows around your paper. There you go. You can see a nice shine on that paper right away. And now I'm going to get my Brusho out. Emerald green. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to give a little sprinkle here and there, and hopefully this will run out all over. Well, it is a little. Maybe I can massage that and get it to go a little bit. Maybe a little bit more, some yellow in there. Give it some highlights. Lemon, yes, this is lemon. It's still not quite looking like I had hoped. It's not running out. It's flowing out a little bit. It's going very slowly. Maybe if I give it a little bit more, it will just go out. Yeah, but it's not quite doing it like I want. I'm just going to give it a little spritz of water here to help the process along, maybe just a little bit. Well, that definitely helped a little bit. You can see the color flowing a little bit more, but now I'm way out of the lines in a few places. And my paper is significantly wetter. I'm not sure. I'm thinking what to do here, Trying to get just a little bit into that beak. You can see how powerful it is. It didn't seem to be anything there until I just touched it ever so slightly. And then all the color came. You can work this around just like it was watercolor paint. You could put it in your palette and mix it and paint with it just like it were paint. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't ever have to do that with Brusho. I want the Brusho to do everything for me. Mix the paint on the paper, do some really cool stuff. I'm not saying that it's not. It's just not quite working the way I thought it was going to right out of the box. But again, this is a test, and so I'm trying to figure out what to do with this stuff. So I do have quite a bit of extra water from spraying my spray bottle all over it. Let's see if I can try to intensify that color just a little bit there. It might pop something out. I don't know. I'm spraying with more water now. It's really starting to run. You can see it's running quite a bit. But with the spray bottle, I don't have a whole lot of control over the colors. I'm sorry, over the direction of the mister, not the colors. I have complete control over the colors. And my paper's getting so wet, it's starting to warp a little bit. It's running right down the tail. There we go. I'll take it off quite a bit at a time. Just continuing to run and flow out of there. It is kind of giving it a neat kind of drainage pattern. But I don't know. I'm spraying the wings now. I'm going to use a slightly different color up there on the wings. I've just sprayed it instead of dampened it with my brush. I'm going to drop on some of this Brusho and we'll see how it goes. I'm purposely trying to use the brush as little as possible and let the Brusho run around. I'm hoping I'll be able to maybe not perfect a technique with this, but get a little better with technique with this Brusho. I'll be able to show you a little bit more later on, but this is what I've got so far. This really is my first real effort to try and do something with Brusho, and while it is making me paint very loosely, it is a little frustrating. Just let me dry this off real quick. I'll be right back. All right, here I'm back. My Brusho is dried. My paper's dried. We can see what it looks like now. The greens, the purples under the hairdryer have really flattened out. A lot of that color has gone away. I am going to repaint in my eye. Let's see, there it is. And I think I need to do something. Here we go. I'm going to paint in some pin feathers on this bird's wings. I don't want to do too much. I'm purposely leaving the Brusho there to do its job, and I want to work around it, at least on this first painting, and then we'll see what happens after this. I've got some tail feathers here, just a couple here and there. There we go. I have noticed that if you re-wet the Brusho, it will start to flow all over again, so it's basically a one-shot application. All right, just a touch, whoa, on the beak here, just to add a little bit of definition. All right. Now, I suppose that's okay. But I think I really need to do something else. I'm going to put a little bit of a background on this guy, mostly to give some definition to these wings back here. I think the way the Brusho bled out, it's a little too amorphous, and I need it to be a little bit tighter. So I think I'm going to put a background on here. Hang with me while I mix up a little bit of paint off to the side. I'm going to try to get a nice orange color, red in there, some yellow in there. We'll see how that goes. All right. I'm going to start up here so that I can give some definition to these wings right away, and we'll see how that goes. As I paint over the Brusho, it looks like it's kind of repelling my watercolor paint just a little bit as it goes over. I'm not sure if that's good or bad yet. It's definitely interesting. There we go, just laying on some color, not worrying too much here or there about how red, how yellow, how anything it is. I just want to get the paint down on the paper. At this point, it's a background. It's not going to be the focus of this painting anyways. So here we go, just dribbling in some yellow there to break that color up. Right down the beak, and you can see right there as I re-wet the Brusho, I go over top of it and it starts to bleed all over again. That's fine. I guess that's the I guess that's what Brusho does. It's kind of neat, and I can see it being completely maddening at the same time. I'm looking forward to doing some more with this Brusho. It has a lot of potential, but I'm not sure I used it in the right application here. Here we go, but I'm going to finish this painting out. Just giving some outline to this bird, a little bit more form than we had before. All right, just putting that on there. Like I said, we're trying to get some paint on a paper to define the shape of this bird a little bit more at this point. Here it's going on, going on. That's good. You know what? As I'm looking at this, I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. That's not good. That's not what I want. That background is just way too strong. I think what I need to do is pull some of that off of there. I'm just gonna re-wet some of this. There we go. And we're gonna put some water on it, pull some of that color off. It's just too strong around this bird. The intensity of the Brusho in the way I did it this time just is not that strong. The red was totally overpowering the whole painting. It wasn't working out for me. So here we go. I'm just going to reapply a little bit of water, a little dry cloth, and I'll just pull most of that red paint right on off of there. There we go. It comes off just like that. Not a big deal. It's just watercolor. It will stain a little bit. I'm never going to get it back to white, and that's fine. I guess I'm not really trying to get it back to white. I just want something there behind the bird, something to be able to define the shape of this bird a little bit more than we had. So I can live with it. It's not exactly what I like, but that's okay. Like I said, this is a first attempt for my Brusho. You can still see there's a lot of purple, a lot of green on this painting. We can kind of see the definition of the wings now. It's kind of neat. I don't know. I look forward to doing the next Brusho painting where I can dive into this a little bit more, and I promise you I will do a full review of these Brusho dry watercolor paints, watercolor powder, I guess is what you call it. Well, that's it. The Brusho test, my first Brusho test is done. This is what I came up with. If you liked the video, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.